Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios. This is Prime News on SABC 3. Let's give you a sense of our top stories this evening.
The Commission's senior team, except for those who are present with us, are seized with preparations for the commencement of the Commission's hearings next Wednesday.
The Madlanga Commission probing police corruption is set to commence its public hearings on the 17th of September at the Madlanga Justice College in Pretoria.
They came under heavy attack with an indication that they either disrupted the mission or these people were going to cause more damage.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has visited the crime wardens recovering in hospital after a brutal shooting near the Davidton railway station.
It's the first case we are aware of where a foreign state comes here to claim the bones of a deceased person, contrary to the wishes of the wife.
And the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has held that the right to bury is an autonomous one which belongs to Esther Lungu, the widow of the late former Zambian president, Edgar Lungu. It has just gone 8 o'clock. A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to Prime News on 3. My name is Paulette Nell. Great to be in your company this evening. Let's get into it. We begin here tonight. The Madlanga Commission probing police corruption is set to commence its public hearings on the 17th of September at the Madlanga Justice College in Pretoria. The Commission says a significant progress has been made and is now ready to hear testimony. The first witnesses are expected to take the stand, marking a key milestone in the inquiry's timeline.
Seated here, the Commission's senior team, except for those who are present with us, are seized with preparations for the commencement of the Commission's hearings next Wednesday, the 17th of September. I'll return to those preparations shortly. On the progress we've made with regard to setting up the Commission, the proclamations establishing the Commission and the regulations governing its operation were published in the Government Gazette on the 22nd of August 2025. The proclamation and regulations govern the proceedings of the Commission, and the documents are available online at the Government Printing Works, that's gpw.online.co.za/government-gazettes, and can be found under the date, the 22nd of August, and it was sponsored by the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development.
This is a very highly anticipated commission. The problem, that I do foresee is that the findings and the recommendations won't be binding from the commission. So that's the first thing, and that's always, weaknesses were commissions, because in the past, commissions of inquiry have often been used to appease the public, to take the steam out of sort of public anxiety and concerns, and then we often never see implementation. It's almost, recommendations are often kicked for tuts, and there's often a hope that people forget it.
To this now, according to relatives of one of the 5 wardens shot during a stop and search in Davidton on the East Strand this weekend, crime wardens remain vulnerable to armed syndicates and should not operate without law enforcement backup. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says government will review their mandate to prevent a repeat of the attack.
The wardens came under fire at Davidton railway station. Witnesses say up to 20 men dressed in black opened fire with automatic rifles. Families now want the wardens armed, saying they face dangerous criminals unprotected.
Their work is too risky. They target armed criminals, yet they don't carry guns. Those attackers knew very well that wardens are unarmed.
Premier Panyaza Lesufi visited the injured wardens. 2 are in ICU, 2 recovering, and 1 discharged.
One of their members was just coming back from a funeral, and they had to escort him home. It's a departmental funeral. And after they've dropped the member, when they were going back to their post, that's when they saw an Avanza that switched on the lights, when they saw the team. And immediately after that, they came under heavy attack, with an indication that they either disrupted the mission or these people were going to cause more damage.
7 other wardens survived and are receiving trauma counseling. Lesufi says their training includes firearms, but any decision to arm them must comply with the law. Offenses Timo, SABC News, Alberton.
Let's now take it to the KwaZulu-Natal province. 5 suspects have been killed in a shootout with police at an informal settlement in Chatsworth, that's south of Durban. Police say the suspects were wanted for a series of serious crimes, including murder, attempted murder, extortion and stock theft. The offences were committed in various parts of KwaZulu-Natal. The suspects were between 15 and 25 years of age. Police say 3 firearms, including a homemade gun, were recovered.
Residents of Pump House informal settlements in Chatsworth woke up to a crossfire between police and wanted suspects. Police say an intelligence-driven operation led them to this dwelling. It's alleged the suspects used it as their hideout after committing a crime. Police retaliation fatally wounded all 5 suspects. Among them was 15-year-old Lwandile Sibia. His family believes police were heavy-handed.
As a family, we are asking ourselves so many questions. Since they were fatally wounded by police, how can a highly trained police officer find it hard to arrest a child and interrogate instead of shooting to kill them? Maybe if we can get clarity on what led to the police killing our children.
Police are adamant that the suspects have been terrorizing communities for some time and were wanted for a string of serious crimes.
The crime scene is still active. We're still processing the scene. We're still going to profile the suspects that were fatally wounded. But what we know for now is that these suspects are linked to various cases, including murder, attempted murder, stock theft, and extortion. So in different areas in the province, including Guatabega, Mpumalanga, and so forth.
Police say they are still searching for more suspects who might be part of the gang. Nonjabulo Mtungwa Makamu, SABC News, Chatsworth.
The Department of Justice says it will be increasing visible policing and making improvements to the security systems in and around the courts in the Western Cape. This is to prevent further attacks such as a number of shootings which have occurred at court premises in Cape Town this year. Last Friday, a man was gunned down at the entrance gate outside the Athlone Magistrates Court.
The shooting incidents in and around courts in Cape Town are becoming more frequent. 3 people have been shot dead in or outside courts in Cape Town. One of them was gunned down last week as he was entering the Athlone Magistrates Court. The brazen shootings are seen as an attack on the might of the judicial system. And officials say security will be beefed up around the courts.
We are going to see if we can beef up visible security so that everyone can see that there is something happening from the time the incident had occurred. So they must not feel scared to come to court.
The shooting incidents also cause delays in the justice system, as the courts usually go into lockdown when the incidents occur, delaying court proceedings and causing matters to be postponed.
We are together to send a very, very strong signal, both to those who work in our courts, the members of the public, but also to send a very strong message to the gangsters and the criminals, that as the judiciary and the executive, we are united in the struggle to ensure that our courts are places of safety.
One person was also arrested for attempting to take a firearm inside the Wynberg Magistrates Court again. Corbin August, SABC News, Cape Town.
Welcome back. Let's continue with matters in the courts. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has heard that the right to bury is an autonomous one, which belongs to Esther Lungu. That's the widow of the late former Zambian president, Edgar Lungu. This as the Lungu family is challenging the High Court's full bench judgment that gave Zambia the right to repatriate Lungu for a state funeral and burial. The Lungu family charges that there are serious questions of law in this unique case that the Supreme Court of Appeal may reach a different conclusion.
The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria's full bench judgment that declared that the Zambian government is entitled to bury former president Edgar Lungu for the purposes of a state funeral and burial has been flagged by counsel on behalf of the Lungu family as one that leads to a dangerous road of the deprivation of the rights of widows if questions of law are not resolved in the Supreme Court of Appeal.
The question of principle remains. This is a complex legal question. It has not been resolved before. It's the first case we are aware of where a foreign state comes here to claim the bones of a deceased person contrary to the wishes of the wife. It's the first case that we are aware of. So that's why we say this is a matter that should go to the Supreme Court of Appeal.
The Lungu family also challenged the finding that there was an enforceable agreement between the two parties, charging that she cannot contract over a corpse as it is outside the realm of contract.
When it comes to a corpse, a dead body in South Africa, the law follows the Roman Dutch system. In fact, when we research this, it comes all the way from the Roman law. It's affirmed by Foote as well as Hugo de Groot in their exposition of the law. They both say that a corpse is outside the realm of contract. No one can contract about a corpse. A contract over a corpse is ipso facto contra bonus mores, something that cannot be contracted upon.
Counsel on behalf of the Lungu family further argued that there exists reasonable prospects of success, that the case can be decided differently and produce an outcome of an unqualified right afforded to Esther Lungu, adding that it is unsettling for a foreign state to approach a South African court using Zambian laws for the remains. Counsel on behalf of the Zambian government, however, says there is nothing sinister about this.
No other court would reasonably conclude that a different outcome should be arrived at, and in any event, even if South African law were to apply, the conclusion would be the same, and that is that the Zambian government would have the burial right, and that is the clear right that the applicant, that the respondent relies on in the founding papers. It says, I have a right to bury, and the fact that the late president is in South Africa does not detract from that right, and that right can be enforced in this country. There's nothing sinister about the government turning to the South African courts to enforce a right that it has in terms of Zambian law.
If the Lungu family is successful, the matter will then head to Bloemfontein, which houses the judiciary's capital, the SCA. Judgment was reserved. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
The state in the case against businessman Vusimuzi Matlala has told the Alexandra Magistrates Court that his former partner, Tebogo Tobejane, has fled the country out of fear. This was revealed during Matlala's bail application. He stands accused of attempting and conspiring to murder Tobejane in October 2023.
Vusimuzi Matlala is facing charges of attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and money laundering. During his bail application, the state argued that he is the mastermind behind the attempted hit on his former partner, Tebogo Tobejane.
It will be argued, Your Worship, that there is, yes, circumstantial evidence, and only circumstantial evidence against the applicant. But it is there and it cannot be ignored. we sit with monies that's been transferred around critical times into the accounts of the gunmen.
The car Tobejani was traveling in was shot at in Sandton by unknown hitmen. According to the state, Matlala traveled from South Africa to Eswatini 3 times. It alleges he owns a falsified identity card from the same country. His Department of Home Affairs papers also record him as still being outside South Africa.
I am confident that this Honourable Court will have regard to the tactics employed in this matter and see through these tactics. 31. I have never applied for any Eswatini identity and deny ever having possessed or used any such document.
Matlala's defense argued that he has no motive to attempt to kill his former partner. Matlala has asked the court to consider house arrest as part of its bail conditions. Judgment has been reserved to next week. Nerea Shakota, SABC News, Alexandra, Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. We shift our focus to this now. President Cyril Ramaphosa says the new trading system has adversely affected a number of countries, including South Africa. He has called on the BRICS countries to work hard to ensure that the global trade system works for everyone. Ramaphosa addressed the virtual BRICS Leader Extraordinary Summit to focus on the current economic environment and the state of the multilateral system.
As the globe is experiencing unprecedented trade disruptions due to the US-led tariffs, BRICS countries are forging a united front and they want to protect their economies and uphold the principles of multilateralism.
We are witnessing seismic shifts in global trade that present both challenges as well as opportunities in the reordering of the global economy.
Ramaphosa says BRICS countries must seize this opportunity and push for reform of key global governance institutions.
The uncertainty of the new trading regime has already negatively affected employment levels in my own country, South Africa, and is an obstacle to our economic growth. We are therefore supportive of meaningful BRICS initiatives that improve the resilience of our economies as BRICS countries.
Chinese President Xi Jinping says BRICS countries should work together and support the fair trading system.
First, we should uphold multilateralism to defend international fairness and justice. History tells us that multilateralism is a shared aspiration of the people and the overarching trend of our time.
Opportunity for us to speak with one sole voice in the defense of a reinvigorated multilateralism. We should move forward in enhancing the Security Council of the UN, incorporating new permanent and non-permanent members from Latin America, from Africa, and from Asia.
Kylie Kumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
And in your sports news this evening, let's start first with football. Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce says they understand that a win against Nigeria will help the team qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Bruce says they will not aim for a draw, but will play for maximum points against the Super Eagles at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein tomorrow evening. South Africa will enjoy a 5-point lead in Group C with 3 games remaining. Nigeria are third in the group, but trailing Bafana Bafana with a massive 6 points.
Bafana Bafana are in the driving seat in Group C, still with 3 qualifying games remaining this year. They lead second place Benin with 5 points. But after a slow start, Nigeria have revived their qualifying campaign after a slender 1-0 win at home over Rwanda. On the other hand, South Africa cemented their place at the top of the group after a commanding 3-0 win against Lesotho at the Free State Stadium on Friday evening. Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce says they will go all out for a win against Nigeria on Tuesday evening.
It's a big opportunity we have tomorrow. We all know if we win the game, we are qualified. This is not mathematically, but then it should be a miracle if we shouldn't qualify.
But Bros understands that it's never a walk in the park against the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
6 points ahead on Nigeria, 5 points ahead on Benin, and that with 3 games to play. So that means that we are in a good position, but it's still not finished.
Bafana Bafana captain Ronwin Williams agrees that it's in their own hands to qualify for the global football showpiece.
The most important thing is to get the job done. We don't want any favors from anyone. We want to do things our way.
Sfiso Ramara, SABC News.
All the best to Bafana Bafana. With that, it's now time to see what the weather has in store for us. Stay tuned.
Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at what to expect weather-wise for tonight as well as tomorrow. Partly cloudy conditions across most parts of the country. Just clear skies over the extreme northern parts of the Northern Cape. We do expect a broad band of isolated showers and thunder showers, mainly scattered along the coastal regions of the Eastern Cape, into the eastern parts, into the interior of KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, and the eastern parts of the Free State. Now tomorrow, starting off with early morning fog patches over the western, southern, eastern as well as the northeastern parts of the country. Those fog patches expected to reduce visibility to less than 1 kilometer in places. So please do take caution if you are driving early tomorrow morning and do keep a safe following distance. It will be partly cloudy across most parts of the country. Isolated showers and thunder showers mainly scattered over the Free State into Lesotho and the extreme eastern parts of the Eastern Cape. Now the South African Weather Service has issued a yellow level 4 warning for severe thunderstorms over the interior of KwaZulu-Natal, otherwise a yellow level 2 warning. That's over Mpumalanga and the extreme eastern parts of the Free State. Those storms possibly resulting in heavy downpours of rain, strong damaging winds, large amounts of small hail or excessive lightning. Tomorrow, mainly over the extreme eastern parts of the Free State and the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape, with high fire danger conditions over the interior. Now taking a look at our overnight temperatures: 11 in Bloemfontein, 10 in Cape Town, Gqeberha, starting off at 17, and then tomorrow expecting fairly cool conditions with 24. It will be a hot day in Appleton with 32. Now California is expecting a maximum of 31. That's your weather. Good night.
That concludes our time together this evening. Much gratitude for joining us. Until next time, it's good night. God bless. Hula.